I think Google is really an underdog right now, even though they're, you know, very strong and stocks going up. I really think they're an underdog right now. I've interacted with all these AIs and large language models. I've paid $200 for the Chat GPT, $200 a month. It's good. Don't get me wrong, it's good. Grok is good too, but I think Google is definitely the underdog, in my opinion. So their stock is, by the way, this is just my opinion. You got to make up your own mind on this, but their stock is at $314.13. It's December 9th, 2025. And they're up in October. They were at 237, so they're up pretty big. They're up like 25-30% in the last 3 months. But I think there's a lot of room to go. I just don't see any other LLM or AI that I'm interacting with, and I do this all the time, all day. I just don't see any other. Gemini's by far the best. It's by far the best, and it's the most intuitive. The feedback is so much better. It's so much more crisp. It's a lot more fluid. And by the way, I don't see anybody talking about it. And maybe I'm just in an echo chamber, but I don't see anybody talking about this. I don't see Bloomberg talking about this. I don't see a CNBC talking about this. I don't see, I think Google, to me, just my opinion personally, just my personal opinion, I think Google is the underdog right now in this AI race. And if anybody's going to do it, I think it'll be Google. I don't know what I'm going to do a little bit of a deep dive later on this week to see what their plan is. I don't know if they're developing. I'm not sure. If they can get ads going through this Gemini thing, they're gonna blow everybody out the water. I don't know what their plan is with chips, if they do have any plan with chips, but they're gonna, if they can get the ads down properly, where it's fluid and consistent with what feedback people are looking for, they're gonna blow everybody out of the water. This is just my opinion, but I think they are, to me, they're the winner. They're going to be the winner in this AI race. Again, this is just my opinion. Let me see really quickly what the stock price is last month. All right, so they're spending $1 billion on data. What I'm really looking for is, let me find it over here. Hang on one second. Let's see what they're doing for chips. They are here we go. We'll see if they can compete with chip. I hope they can. That would be the secret sauce. You got Gemini, by far the best. This is just my opinion. Gemini, best AI. Their feedback is so crisp. It's perfect. It's really just perfect. It's ChatGPT is nowhere near as good. Grok is good and everything, but nothing's as good as Google's on this. I'm going with Google. I'm really going with Google. But if they can get like this, if they can get something going with chips, that would be the secret sauce. That they just, I really like Google. Again, this is just my opinion. I'm not telling anybody any financial advice. You got to make up your own mind on this. But I think Google is. The more I look into this, the more I realize I think Google's going to be the winner. Also, the other thing I'm trying to look at with Google is let's see. I'm doing all this right now. Give me a quick second. Yeah, didn't Berkshire Hathaway just invested $4.3 billion in Alphabet. When are their earnings coming up? When's Google's earnings coming up? Yeah, this is something I'm going to be following pretty closely over the next year, over 2026. I really like Google, but more news to come. I'm gonna be giving my opinion on this probably going many times going forward. I really like Google, and I'm gonna give my more opinions on this here pretty soon, because the other thing too I wanted to say, I've been seeing some. Well, I'll save that for another video here in the near future. But I've been seeing some misinformation, I guess you could say. A little bit of misinformation, but actually more than a little bit. I saw a famous YouTube content creator explaining that if you had put money into the footsie, over the last 20 years, you got a rate of return, 11% rate of return. But, it's not quite that simple. If you put money into the footsie in the early 2000s, it's just not that simple. In 2000, in summer of 2000, it was at 62.94. And in July 1st of 2020, it was at 6,460. So July of 2000, it was at 6,294, and in July of 2020, it was 5,866. This is just clearly misinformation. That means if all the money that you put into the footsie for 20 years, you had a negative rate of you got your ass handed to you. Pardon my French, but you got your ass handed to you. This is a famous content creator too. He's a famous YouTuber. He has like 1 million followers, literally 1 million followers. I think. Let me see exactly how many followers he has, and I'll tell you. I'm not going to blast his name out there, but not 1 million, probably 1 million combined, but he has over 250,000 subscribers and 1,200 videos, 250,000 subscribers. Now, I'm not perfect. Nobody else is perfect. I'm just here to give my opinion, but that is clearly, you cannot speak from authority. If you're saying that you put the money in the footsie, you had 11% rate of return, but in reality, here, look at this. It's just crazy. You can look it up yourself. If you put money for basically my entire adolescence, you made nothing. You lost everything. You pretty much lost everything. Now, if you put money in the footsie back in, summer of 2020, April to summer of 2020 at roughly 6,000, let's say. And now today you're at 9,600, then yeah, sure. But, commodity, the manufacturing in commodities, if you, during the 2000s, from 2000 to 2020, you really just, you kind of wanted to be in tech. It was just tech. You didn't want to be in the footsie, that's for sure. You didn't want to be in the Nikkei either. You didn't want to be in the Nikkei, you didn't want to be in the footsie. Anybody who has 250,000 followers who's telling you others from speaking from authority that you should be, that you had an 11% rate, this is just categorically false. And it's just this kind of is what is prompting me to start making videos, because I learned from my grandpa. My grandpa was a pretty smart guy, and I don't know everything. I know a little bit more than, I guess, the average person. But seeing this insane misinformation is kind of what prompted me to make this channel. I'm hoping that I can provide some insight and opinions. I'm not perfect. I'm just giving my opinions. I'm not telling anybody what to do. I can't tell anybody what to do. Don't listen to me. Do your own research. But man, the whole point of this video is I really like Google. I think Google is going to be the clear winner. And this is December of 2025, so hopefully, maybe by 2030, let's say, I'm hoping I'm going to be following this really closely over the next couple of years. And then I'm just going to hopefully shed some more light on, I guess giving my opinions, and whenever there's misinformation like that, I'm gonna of course just be careful who you're listening to. Even me, if I say something that doesn't hit right, just be careful who you're listening to, really. Yeah, and do your own research, because that was crazy to hear that. And I'm not gonna name blast him, but that was insane. It's just, you're basically telling people you're leading people into their own, you're just not good. Anyways, Google. That's the name of the game right now for me, Google. I actually just recently sold my car, sold my watch. I'm downsizing. I'm not going out to eat. None of that. I'm not doing any of that. And I'm really scaling back and paring all my expenses back. I'm gonna really trim everything I can do. I'm probably gonna go get a side job delivering pizzas. I'm gonna go do everything I can, because 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030. So we got a couple years before we eat the bugs. And if there's anything I can do to help, or if there's anything I can do to help you, I'm gonna just give my opinion, and maybe I can offer a little bit of help. I mean, I'm 30. I'm in my 30s, but I was working side jobs, and I was poor, dirt poor a couple of years ago, and I'm in my mid-30s now. I was dirt poor less than 7 years ago, and I'm doing okay for myself now. I'm still not rich, but I'm doing okay for myself. I don't carry debt, and if I'm just to explain to you a little bit more about, like, you're not going to be following some guy who is, I'm hoping to correct the record so that you guys aren't going to be following some guy into your demise, putting, like he's saying, having put money in the footsie, and you got I'm here to offer a little bit of help. And if I can see something that's just factually untrue, like just not true, I'm just a regular guy, and I'm gonna give my opinion. And there's nothing special about me, but I understand what it's like to have nothing, and then I understand what it's like to climb up the ladder a little bit. And I'm trying not to take anything for granted, but I feel like I can help a little bit. I feel like, honestly, I can help, because I'm even though I don't have, like, I'm not a multimillionaire, but I do know a little bit. I know a little bit about a little bit, and I'm gonna stop being so shy and offer my opinion, because I can't tell you what to do. Don't listen to yourself. Don't listen to, you have to take everybody's opinions with a grain of salt. Like, I'm not giving financial advice, but I see a few winners, and they're not being priced properly, in my opinion. I don't think, like, for example, I think Reddit has a lot of room to go. They're at like 230 or something. Like Reddit, for example, I'm going to be breaking that down here in the next week or two. But Reddit's at 235. They're at $44.5 billion market cap. That's very, very small to me, in just my opinion. I'll give my opinion. I'll say why. I'm gonna just offer why I believe that, and take it or leave it. I'm not telling anybody what to do, but yeah. And Meta's got like a 22. I think Meta's what's Meta's PE ratio? Meta PE ratio. $22.7 forward PE, trailing PE 29.5. It's cheap. Meta's cheap right now. To my opinion. It's at 656. It's cheap. That's cheap right now. Also, another thing that I wanted to mention was Amazon. Amazon is gonna crush it. Amazon PE ratio. I think what Amazon's margin is, they're in the Mag 7, and they have the smallest margins, I think, in Mag 7. Okay, so here, what's Amazon margin? Amazon margin. 9% in 2024, 11% in 2025. That is crazy. So 9% in 2024, 11% in 2025. And let's see, what is the average margin of the Mag 7? Amazon has so much higher to go. So much higher to go. Don't trust me, but this is December of 2025. I think their margins are going to be deep into the 20s by the end of the decade. Deep into the 20s. And Tesla too. Like if they can get this robotics thing, the biggest beneficiary of robotics is going to be Amazon. And once Amazon can get these robotics going, their margins are going to spike. They will spike. So what's Amazon's price right now? By the way, here, the Mag 7, average Mag 7 stocks margin, their average margin was 25.8 in late 2024. So a year ago, so Amazon's the only Mag 7 stock that has a margin that low. That's crazy to me. So if Amazon's margin's that low, and I think it's going to go deep into the 20s, call it 25.8% by the end of the decade, that means Amazon's stock, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I cannot tell anybody, this is not financial advice, I can't tell anybody what to do, but that means that Amazon stock, they're going to be the biggest beneficiary. It's $228 per share. Yeah, they're going to go way higher. My absolute favorite right now, Google. Google's my absolute favorite. After that is probably Reddit. Probably Reddit. Google, Reddit, Amazon. Meta for sure. Meta's just like an easy layup. That's the easiest layup to me, my opinion. But Google, Amazon. I'm gonna be following all these things very closely. Just don't listen. You can't. You have to do your own research. But these, I'm just airing it out. What my opinion is. You got to do your own research though. But Amazon has. What's Tesla's margin? Yeah, okay. So their margins are... They peaked at 29% in 2022. They've been declining the operating margin. Yeah, I don't know. This is not important to me. But and I'm interacting with Gemini right now. Gemini's the best. Gemini is the best by far. It's so crisp. Gemini's so crisp. It's so intuitive. When I ask Gemini something, the context, the feedback is just so, it's so good. There's everything, and even aesthetically, I can see the little tiny improvements they're making. But even aesthetically, the way you interact with it, the visuals of interacting with it, it's as close to perfect as I can set. It's perfect, really. Not perfect, but it's clearly the winner to me, in my opinion. For somebody who's paid, I've paid $200 for I've paid $200 a month to use ChatGPT, and it's good, but Gemini's better, and we'll see about that. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up here in a second. Google. That's my favorite, by far my favorite. But if I can offer a little bit of help to anybody, even just one person, if I can help one person, was 5, 6, probably 6, 7 years ago, I was delivering pizzas. I was poor. I was dirt poor for American standards. I was living with family members. I was living with my grandparents. I'm in my mid-30s now. I was dirt poor. I had nothing. Delivering pizzas, trying to figure out a way to make it. If I can help somebody who was in my shoes, if I can help somebody who was like me 6 years ago, 7 years ago, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm trying to do. That's my objective, is to help somebody who can understand. I can understand what it's like to be a young man, poor, trying to make it, not getting hired, couldn't find a job. I don't have any formal education. I'm not college educated. I dropped out of high school. I'm GED. I got my GED. If I can help somebody who is like me, in my shoes, and by the way, like it's climbing up the ladder. I'm not wealthy or anything, but climbing up the ladder, little by little, just taking tiny little steps. You can do it. 5 years passes so fast. Just to put a little bit here into your future, just to put $5 today, $10 tomorrow, $13 on a Wednesday, skip Chipotle. We'll get into that too later on, but skip going out. Don't go to the bars. Don't waste your money. If I can help one young man, just one person, even anybody. If I could just help one person to improve, to get better, and the other thing too that I'll say is praying really helped me, and it was crazy, but I don't want to say it's crazy, but years ago I started praying, and then slowly but surely my life started improving. You could take that for what you want to take it for, but I'm here to help. I see a lot of disinformation on the internet. I see a lot of disinformation on YouTube, and I'm here to help. I know this video is long, but this is my first video, so take care, y'all. God bless. And I'm gonna be uploading more videos here. I'm gonna be dissecting some things and uploading more videos and trying to correct some of this misinformation that I see. Again, this is not financial advice. You got to do your own research, make up your own mind, make up your own opinion. But I'm kind of air some things out, and we'll see what happens going forward. All right, take care. God bless.